Hey everyone, how you doing? It's your boy Shaheener coming at you with an update to the tier list videos that I've been dropping over the past year or so. So, if you are not in the know, I have released tier list videos based off of all the Pokemon from generations 1 through 9, and also a tier list of all the main series games. So, if you want to see those videos, the link for the playlist is in the description. But this is going to be an update based off of all the Pokemon we received in the DLC for Scarlet and Violet, which are from the Teal Mask and the Indigo Disc. And so, yes, I know that Legend ZA was just announced, and I'm sure that'll probably be a couple new Pokemon in there. But I feel like that this video I've been holding off on for a while, so without any further delay, let's get into it. Okay, so let's go over all the Pokemon first before I go over my thoughts on the DLC. And so first up, we got right down over here, we have Walking Wake, and we have Iron Leaves, which were introduced just randomly before the DLC dropped, and they're only like limited time releases during the Terra raid dens, which is really silly that you can't acquire them by any other means. I know people were speculating about, oh, maybe you could find them when the DLC releases, but no, that is not the case. So every now and then they'll just release them to be like, oh, this is exclusive, and you only get one per game. But Walking Wakes is exclusive to Scarlet. Iron Leaves is exclusive to Violet. And you know what? At first, I didn't think I was really going to like Walking Wake too much. But then, I don't know. There's something about it that's just charming, and I like the dinosaur raptor aspect of it. It's not my favorite of the paradoxes that have been shown, but I really do like it. I would probably throw this one. I think based off of what I see over here, I'd probably throw it an A tier, actually. Yeah, I do like it quite a bit. Iron Leaves, however, I feel like is pretty uninspired. It's just, oh, it's a Pokemon but a robot. But I feel like that a lot of the Violet Paradox Pokemon are kind of that same way, too. So I guess it isn't... It's kind of par for the course, I guess. I'd probably put it into... I'd probably throw it into C tier, I guess. Yeah, I'm not the craziest about it. It's not bad by any means, but it's not like my favorite at all. So next up are now the Pokemon that have been introduced so far. At least we're going to go over the Teal Mask Pokemon. So first up is Diplin, which is now another split evolution for Applin, which was introduced in Sword and Shield. And so this one is, I mean, I think it's cute with the concept of it being a candy apple, but I liked Flapple and Appleton a lot more than Diplin. And I mean, I'll talk about it later, but I was kind of underwhelmed with this just being an evolution. It looked just kind of, I don't know, placeholder, I guess. And I was just thinking, why this one? Why, out of all the Pokemon you give an evolution to, you give another evolution for an apple? I'll throw this one into C. It's just kind of whatever. Okay, next up we have Poltergeist and Sinistcha, which are kind of adjacent Pokemon to Sinistea and Poltergeist from Sword and Shield, but they say that they're entirely unrelated. Which, I mean, there's so many similarities. It's just a matcha version of those Pokemon. And so, I mean, I do appreciate them. I definitely like Sinistcha more than Poltergeist. So I would probably put Poltergeist into C. I would put Sinistcha into B. Okay, and now we've gotten to, what was it, the Disloyal 3? Or the Loyal 3, depending on your interpretation. So we have
Okie
Monkey Dory and Pheasantipity. And I just immediately loved Monkey Dory just because of the name, just Monkey. I don't know, I've always had a love for primates, so that was just up my alley. Although, I feel like the other primate Pokemon we've received since then have been better. I'm gonna throw Monkidori into B tier. Okidogi is probably my favorite in terms of design of the three, and this one basically ended up being like the alpha of the three when it comes to them during the story of Teal Mask. So I'm gonna throw Okidogi into A tier. Then Pheasantipity, I didn't dislike it at all. I think it was okay, but I don't know. It's just whatever. So I'm gonna throw it into C tier. Okay, now we're at Ogerpon, which is basically the main Pokemon of the Teal Mask. Everything kind of revolves around Ogerpon. It has 4 different masks, which will change its form and its typing. And so this is the first time we've gotten a Grass Rock type when it has its Cornerstone mask on, which is actually my favorite of the masks that it wears. Although the one that everybody's going to know for is the teal mask that you can see right over here. And I do like it. It's just it's not my favorite. It's not bad. I think it's fine. I would probably throw it into B tier. And now we're going to get into the Indigo Disc Pokemon. And so first up is going to be Archaludon, which is an evolution of Duraludon from Sword and Shield. Pretty much everything that, like, any Pokemon that are connected to a previous Pokemon for the DLC is all based off of stuff from Sword and Shield, which I think is really weird that they would just focus on that again, or they could have just added them during the thing for Sword and Shield. Whatever. Archaludon's fine. I have no qualms with it. I would probably throw Archaludon into B tier. So next we have Hydrapple, which is the evolution of Diplin, which I am so happy they gave it an evolution, because if we were just stuck with Diplin, I would have not been a fan of it. Hydrapple, however, is probably my favorite of anything in the Applin line. I think it's great design. The Grass Dragon type I think really works over here, especially when all the heads pop out. So I would throw this one in S tier for sure. I really did like Hydrapple. Okay, and now the rest of the new Paradox Pokemon. So, 2 exclusive to Scarlet, 2 exclusive to Violet. We have Gouging Fire, Raging Bolt, which are based off of Entei and Raikou. And then we have Iron Boulder and Iron Crown, which are based off of Terrakion and Cobalion. So, Gouging Fire is up there as one of my favorite Paradoxes for sure. I really, really like the design for Gouging Fire. Kind of reminds me of like a Triceratops almost. And it also, you could tell the direct similarities to Entei. I would absolutely throw this one in S tier, that's no question. That was one of the best Paradox they've ever released. Next is Raging Bolt, which at first I was kind of taken aback just because it's like, oh, it's more of like a Brontosaurus. But actually I really like it, and I think it's kind of cute that it has a cloud over its neck, like it's so tall that it's reaching through the clouds. And yeah, I don't know, I like this one quite a bit. I would throw Raging Bolt into A tier. Iron Boulder and Iron Crown. These ones, again, were just... I don't know. I feel like they could have done more with it, but I was just kind of underwhelmed. I'd throw those ones into... Well, I'd throw them both into C tier. They're kind of just... They're whatever. And next up, we have the primary legendary for the Indigo Disc, which is Terapagos. This is, of course, just his basic form, but it goes into something absolutely nuts in the story. You should definitely play it. But Terapagos is fine. I, again, don't have any qualms. It's not my favorite, not my least favorite. It's just, I would throw it in a B. Yeah, it's kind of cool, especially when it form changes. And last but not least, this Pokemon was introduced after all the DLC was released. This was introduced during a free update called Mochi Mayhem, which you had to have had all the DLC stories completed to access Mochi Mayhem. So this Pokemon is Pecharunt. And I don't care for it at all. I think it's just kind of whatever. It's not my favorite. I don't dislike it completely. I feel like that I would throw this one into C tier. It's just kind of whatever to me. And now I'm actually going to look back over and see, because everything on here was kind of based off of first reaction, see if there's anything I would change from, like, if I needed to move anything around in the tiers, if there's anything I liked more or disliked. And let's see. So I think S tier so far, I do still agree with what I have in here. I still like everything that's on there. A tier, I would probably throw Crocolore down into B tier, honestly. Yeah, I don't care for it as much, looking back on it. Same with Smoliv. I think the meme kind of caught up to it, and I'm whatever about it now. Let's see. What else is on here? Garganacl, I'd probably throw down here as well. I'm just going to throw wherever. Let's see. What else? No, I think A tier is now okay. Let's see. B tier. Is there anything that I could bring up or drop down? I don't think so. Yeah, I think everything else is where it should be on here. So, yeah, I'll just keep everything where it is there. But then for C tier, Let's see. Is there anything I can raise up or drop down? Um, I don't think so. Everything I think is okay there. I still agree with how I felt before. And same with D tier, those are still just underwhelming. So that is the complete tier list right now for Generation 9, at least for all the Scarlet and Violet main game, DLC, whatnot. And maybe I'll do an update when Legends ZA comes out next year. But let's look over the main games, which we are definitely going to be talking about them on Babblers, so keep an eye out for that. But we have the Teal Mask, we have the Indigo Disc, which I thought the Teal Mask was fine. I like the world of Kitakami, but I don't know. There was something about it where I was just kind of, I don't know, left wanting more. And also, what was it? The Ogre Oustin was so janky that like it could have been fun, but it just ended up being kind of whatever. So I would throw Teal Mask into C tier. Indigo Disc, I do like that you have a bunch of different environments. I like there's a lot more representation of Unova in it. But I don't know. And also it was difficult too. So yeah, I think I enjoyed my time in Indigo Disc. And that's probably one I would go back to more. The only downside about it, or at least maybe I was just hyping myself out about it, is that I was hoping that they'd have something similar to the Dynamax Adventures in the Crown Tundra from Sword and Shield, just because it's the second part of a DLC. But unfortunately, we did not get that. So I'm going to throw the Indigo Disc into B tier. And so let's see if there's anything that I could change from here. Have my thoughts changed on anything whatsoever? No. No, everything I see on here is exactly how I feel still. So I'm going to, yeah, leave it at that. So thank you, anybody, for listening, watching. If you want to check out these tier lists, then I'm going to also have them linked in the description. And definitely don't forget to check out Babblers. We're near the end of the season 2. Also, I've been quite active on Twitch lately, so if you want to check that out, link is also in the description. But until then, I will see you in another video. Later.